Hi all, today we are going to see data flow in Power BI. So data flow in Power BI means we can do the transformation in Power BI service itself. So normally we will be doing the transformation in Power BI desktop by using the Power Query editor. But now we can use the Power data flow to do the transformation in Power BI service. So mainly this data flow is very useful when we if we have multiple reports and we are using the same data set multiple times. In that case we can use the data flow, so we can use the single data flow for the multiple reports. So for example, I can give an example here. So date master table we required for all the reports, whatever for time intelligent calculation we mainly we needed this date master table. So this date master table, it will be available in the database like MySQL. So for example, I am getting the data from date master table from MySQL server. So I will get this data to data flow. I'll do the transformation. I'll store it in Power BI service. So whenever I am preparing a report, I will reuse this date master table. For product analysis report, I'll use this date master table, and for customer analysis also I'll use the date master table, which is in the form of data flow. So instead, this is one of the optimized way. Instead of importing separately from MySQL server, like for product analysis, normally if the data flow is not there, I will import the data of the date master table to product analysis once, and whenever I'm preparing the customer analysis, again I will be importing the date master table. So instead of that, what we can do is we can create a centralized data flow here. After transformation, we can store it in the form of data flow. We can reuse it whenever we are preparing a new report. So this is one of the optimized way. So we can see in Power BI how we can use it. Now, in this workspace, we have this sales analysis report and product analysis report. If we observe, we are consuming the data from MySQL database here. If you can see here now, we are consuming the data from MySQL database. So, in the example, what I have said is we can create a centralized date master table, and we can reuse it for customer analysis and product analysis, right? So the same thing we are going to do it now, because these two reports are consuming the data from uh, so these two reports are consuming the data from MySQL database. So it is individually consuming the data, like date master table, it's consuming from here. Again, it is consuming the date master table from here. So what we are going to do is we will create a centralized data flow here, and this data flow will be using for this product analysis and sales analysis also. We will be using the same data flow. We can see how to do that. For that, what we need to do is we need to go to new items, click on that. Search for data flow. So here it is available, data flow gen, sorry. So this is the lineage view. I have clicked this lineage view. So it is showing me the lineage of the reports. So I have clicked on this new item. Then we can click on this data flow. So we can search like this as well. Data flow. So click on this data flow Gen2. I'm upgrading it to Microsoft Fabric trial. I'm naming this data flow as date master data flow. Master table data flow. Click on create. So the data will be available in MySQL database, right? So those information we need to give it in this data flow. So if you can see here, the Power Query window have opened. As I said before, in Power BI desktop, we'll be having the Power Query editor, right? So the same thing, it will be available here. So what we need to do now is we need to get the data from MySQL database. So there we have the MySQL, sorry, the date master table information. So here we can type as MySQL database. Then server name, we need to type it as localhost. Database name as Superstore Data. And then here we can edit the connection. So connection, this is the gateway which I have chosen. So unlock geeks is the gateway connection which I have chosen. So here I'm giving the basic option here. Give the username. My MySQL username is root, so I'm giving that, and I am entering my password here of the MySQL database. And in privacy level, you can keep it as organizational. So you can check it out whether your database, your gateway is online or not. If it is offline, it will throw an error. So before that, I will log into MySQL. So whether the gateway is on or off, we can just check it out. How we can check it? Click in the keyboard. You can click on Windows R, Windows plus R. So this run dialog box will be opening. You can type the service.msc. So again, there will be a dialog box visible here. So in which we need to, if it is offline, the personal gateway, if it is offline, we can switch on to online mode. So if we scroll to on-premises gateway, right? So it is showing the status is showing us running. So which means like our gateway is online now. So if it is not running here, we can just right click on the start option. So we can close this and we can click on next. So here we can see all the data base name and table names also. So we can scroll to the database which we have created, and this is the table which we have created inside the superstore underscore db database. We have created date master table in MySQL database. So we are importing that table to Dataflow now. So I'm clicking on this and I'm just clicking on this create button. Now, if we can see the date master table is loaded here. So if we want to do any transformation, we can do it, but I don't want to do anything now. So what I will do is I will just save. I will click on this save, run and close it. Okay. Now if you can see the data flow, it's stored in our workspace. in the name date master table underscore data flow. So what now we can do is we can utilize this data flow in our reports. So instead of consuming from directly from SQL Server, MySQL database, we can use this data flow. So it will be optimized way. So now what we need to do is we need to go to report now. We can go to report. I'm going to product analysis report. Go to get data. You will be having an option called data flow. Click on that. So these option will be available now. They in under workspace in superstore data workspace under this folder only will be having this table. So in under workspace, this workspace only, right? We have this data flow. So the same thing is available here in this option. So under this data flow, we have this table, the cleaned table. So what we can do is we can directly load it, or first we can do the transformation. Because we have already done the transformation now, just I am clicking on load here. So it will, the data flow, it will be loading now. Now the date master table is loading now. It will take some time. Once it is done, I'll again go to the transform data. I'll click on this transform data. So now if we can see this particular date master table is there now. This is coming from SQL, MySQL database, and this superstore data underscore DB date master table is coming from data flow. So what I will do is I'll just click on this data flow table, and I'll go to advanced editor, and I'll copy all the query in code, and I will paste the same in date master table. I'll replace everything with the data flow, data flow, and I'll just click on done, and I will delete the data flow table here. So what I'm doing is I'm just replacing whatever it was there. It was pulling the data from MySQL, and I'm deleting the data flow. So all the relationship tags which is taken it from here, right? It will retain as it is, and I'll just click on close and apply. Now once the table is loaded, we can publish this report in service. So we can see, so this is how now the lineage is available. Now we can see after publishing the report, we can see the lineage, how it is going to change. So in this workspace, I am going to publish it. I am going to replace it. Now the report is published. So if I refresh this workspace, right, the lineage will change now. So if we can see here now, so the date master table, a table, it's been consumed by this report. So this is how we need to utilize this data flow. So if I again publish this sales analysis report by replacing the date master table, it will consume the data from this data flow, whichever it's available now. So we can see that also now. I'll open the sales analysis report. Now, in the sales analysis report, I am going to change the date master table, which is consuming the data from MySQL database to the data flow. So just I'm going to click on this Power Query editor, and I'll be replacing the data flow. So this is the M code which we have it, which we have already used it in product analysis. No, I'll use the same M code, and I'll copy this and I'll paste it in the sales analysis. I'm pasting it, and I'll click on done now, and I'll click on this close and apply. Data is loading now, the table. So if we can see here now, once it is loaded, what I will do, I'll publish the report in workspace. So now the lineage will change. So now the date master table is consuming from this MySQL database now. So now the lineage will change like this. It comes from here. So it is one of the optimized way. Instead of consuming the date master table every time from the SQL, this will be the centralized one, and it will consume the data from this date master table. So what we can do is, when we are scheduling the refresh, first we need to schedule the refresh to data flow. Then we need to schedule, for example, we are scheduling at 10 o'clock. This data flow, we need to schedule the refresh in Power BI a report. Like in semantic model, we need to refresh it. We need to schedule the refresh around by 11 or 10:30 according to this refresh timing. So if it is taking 5 or 10 minutes after this data flow, we need to schedule the refresh for this semantic model refresh. So this is how we need to schedule the refresh. So we can see whether the data is loaded or not. It's loaded. We can save this report. So the report is saved, and we need to publish the report in the uh, workspace which we have created. Superstore data underscore workspace. Click on select and click on replace. Now the report is published now. So we can refresh this workspace again. As I said, the lineage is changed now. So if you can see here now, the date master table, it's not the date master table data flow is available here. So from here only the semantic model is consuming the tables here. So this is how this data flow is useful. Instead of connecting to this MySQL, we are creating the transformation data here in data flow, and this data flow data is being connected to these two reports. So we can utilize the same data flow to the multiple reports how much ever we can. So this is the use of this data flow. Hope this video is useful to you all. Thank you.